I humbly
accept your nomination
for the presidency of the United States.
All right, everybody now, settle down.
The only limit to your achievements
is the reach of
your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
The bond between our two countries is deep and sincere. And Mexico will pay for the wall.
I recently had a cough that turned out to be pneumonia.
And she can't make it 15 feet to her car. Give me a break.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
It was a mistake to have a personal account.
I made a mistake. It was a mistake.
That was more than a mistake. Why did she delete 33,000? I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted.
Woo, okay.
Did you notice that? My mic was defective within the room.
You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the...
That's a very unfortunate phrase, and people really should stop using that.
Why?
Because
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not.
This was locker room talk.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
The WikiLeaks documents show how the media conspires and collaborates.
Now to
What I'm
to that
saying
principle.
is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
But what we want to do is to replenish the Social
Such a nasty
Security
woman.
Trust Fund.
And nasty women vote.
Welcome to the New York Times Election Night Live. And now your hosts for the evening, Charles Duhigg and Emily Bazelon.
Good evening.
hello, hello.
So who's excited? Anyone looking forward to tonight? We want to thank all of you. Or scared? Anyone scared? Anyone terrified? Go ahead. You can be both excited, terrified, and on the brink of being ecstatic, depending on which way you lean. We'll have lots of it tonight. We want to thank all of you for coming and joining us this evening. This is a huge treat for us to be able to share election night with you. Now, what you're going to be seeing this evening is live journalism. We're going to have editors coming down from the newsroom. We're going to have correspondents coming down, guest experts coming to tell you about this race and what they expect to have happen. And with that caveat, I'll mention that we're also live streaming this evening, and portions of this will be on Facebook, on the New York Times. And so you might see folks come down late. You might see coffee stains on their clothes. This is journalism as we're making it.
We're thinking of it. We're hoping that you'll put up with a little spontaneity. That things may slide around a little in ways we can't quite predict, and it'll all just be kind of part of the ride.
And with one of the things I'll mention is that you might get some alerts on your smartphone from other news services, and we will break in if the New York Times calls any races and let you know how things are shaping up. That being said, we are the New York Times, and so sometimes some others who I don't want to mention, they jump the gun, they might not have it exactly right. So when you hear something from us, you'll know that it comes from the mouth of God, down to you.
Now we're going to mess up just because you said that.
But we really appreciate you being here this evening.
So before we begin, we wanted to do something that might be a little different than the mood of this election. We wanted to ask you to take a few seconds, introduce yourself to the person next to you, and tell them about something you're excited about that will follow tonight.
Go ahead.
It is lovely to meet you. I'm excited that election's going to be over. There you go. That's another good one. We should have put beer on stage, like Jim suggested. Yeah.
Okay, hopefully you've made some new friends. Maybe you've even convinced someone to go cast their ballot in a different way. Too late now. And if I could have your attention, please allow me to interrupt you to introduce the publisher and chairman of the New York Times Company, Arthur Sulzberger, Jr.
Thank you, Charles and Emily, and that's a tough act to follow. I was standing there all by myself, and I thought I had no one to introduce myself to, but I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to tomorrow, the sun coming up. But good night, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm really delighted to welcome you to Election Night Live at the New York Times. Now, depending on your point of view, Election night can be exasperating, exhilarating, anxiety-producing, or downright terrifying. So it's good that we're all here together to share the experience of what will surely be an exciting finish to a marathon of an election cycle, one that has stretched on for year after year after year, or so it certainly seems. I'm so incredibly proud of our talented team of journalists who have truly distinguished themselves in their coverage, providing us with clarity and context amid enormous, just overwhelming chaos, and doing it on every platform imaginable, from the pages of our print paper to our website and mobile apps to our podcasts, through written and spoken words to video to the best interactive graphics you saw anywhere in this cycle. Whether they were breaking the news on Trump's taxes or tenaciously investigating the Clinton server story, our reporters have sought to uncover the truth and provide in-depth analysis, setting the agenda for the national political debate. You have no doubt read countless articles of late about the business challenges facing the newspaper industry, and these challenges are real. But this election season should be a reminder to the public about the critical role that journalism, and particularly newspaper journalism, plays in our democracy. Let me quote Pointer's James Warren, who wrote last month about the Times and our colleagues at the Washington Post. Step back and think how many stories they've broken, how many tweets they've inspired, how much cable coverage is pegged to regurgitating their exclusives. These bastions of old media exhibit the potency of old-fashioned reporting and editing with a few bells and whistles thrown in. And David Remnick, the editor of The New Yorker, which has also done some very fine work this election season, said, "These are invaluable institutions, and this country would be immensely poorer without them." Well, thank you, but thanks to people like you, I'm happy to say the Times is vibrant and strong, and you can count on us to be around for the long term. So thank you for your loyalty and your support. Here's to newspapers and newspaper reporters, especially those from here at the New York Times, who will join us tonight to provide in real time the kind of insight that you depend on us for while history is being made. Portions, as you heard, of this evening will be live streamed on nytimes.com as part of our extensive election night coverage on many platforms, serving readers wherever they may be and however they prefer to get their news. And I hope you enjoy this fascinating evening. So now, let me welcome to the stage two of my brilliant colleagues, New York Times executive editor Dean Baquet and managing editor Joe Kahn. We appreciate the time they've taken to be with us tonight, one of the busiest news nights of the year. Thank you, Dean.